Here we go.
Hi, and welcome back to Oprah. Today, we're going to talk about my Thanksgiving book choice of the week, which is Sula by Toni Morrison. We are lucky enough today to have some of the characters that Sula is about. Please give a warm welcome to Eva Peace. Hello, Oprah. Hi, Eva. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. So, tell me a little bit about where you're from.
I'm from this small rural town called The Bottom in Ohio.
So, do you have any children?
I actually have 3 children. I have 2 daughters, Hannah and Pearl, and a son who we nicknamed Plum.
How sweet. So, tell me about growing up with your children.
There have been a lot of hardships and struggles. When my husband left me, we didn't have any money, and I had to leave the kids with a neighbor for a while I came across some money. But once I did, I came back, we built a beautiful house, and we always have lots of dinners, and it's really a great life that we lead.
How inspiring. So how did you come across this money?
Well, there have been a lot of rumors around town, but let's just say I have a lot of insurance money from my missing leg.
Well, love can motivate you to do some crazy things. Am I right? Tell me about the relationships you have with your children.
Well, I've been closest with my daughter Hannah and my son Plum. Plum really got into a hard time, and it was really a struggle to take care of him, and he was just the sweetest boy, and I just felt like I needed to take things into my own hands and make him happy, so I did what I had to do.
Now, I've read the book, and I know what you had to do, so I'll just spoil it for the audience a little bit. Eva here actually killed her own son. Eva, can you tell us a little bit about why you did it?
My son was in World War I, and when he came back, he just wasn't the same, and he got addicted to cocaine, and I just couldn't see him going through that misery anymore, so I decided to end it for him.
So tragic. Your love is just clearly abounding for your children. It's really honorable. So tell me about your relationship with Hannah.
Hannah and I are extremely alike. We were really close, and then she had her daughter Sula, and I'm not sure about Sula.
Really? Well, tell me a little bit about Hannah's death.
It was really tragic and awful. Her dress caught on fire when she was setting a fire, and I actually jumped out of a window to try to save her and just try to put out the flames in any way that I could, but because of my leg I couldn't get to her in time.
That was so sad. Well, do you remember anything you saw before, she passed?
She actually told me about this dream that she had where she was in a red wedding dress, and of course there was an obvious sign that she was going to die by flame, but we just didn't pay attention to it, and we should have known.
Wow, well, that is very tragic, and I'm sorry for your loss. Well, Eva, thank you so much for coming. Can we have a round of applause, please? And we're back with our next guest, Sula, whose grandmother was Eva Peace that we just talked to. Welcome, Sula. How are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing good. Everything's good.
Good. Awesome. So tell me about your life growing up.
Life in the bottom was very good. I mean, we didn't really have many problems. At a young age, I met my best friend Nell. She's like the other half of me. I love her so dearly. But one day we were walking home from school, and there were these bullies. They were teasing down. It made me so mad. So I really wanted to scare them away. So I
cut off your finger.
I cut off my finger. Oh. But it was all right because they went away. They never bothered us again. Everything was good till then. And then a little later, Nell and I were down by the river, and we were playing with Chicken Little. Little town boy we like to hang out with. He came by, he was just so happy. We started swinging him around. He was just laughing. but then he slipped from my hands and he drowned in the river.
So, how did you feel after Chicken Little's death?
I mean, I was just so afraid. So I ran up to Shadrach's house. He lives up the hill and he just scared me. And so I ran with Nell and she said everything's gonna be okay. No one saw, but you know, ever since then it's always haunted me just a little bit.
Did you feel guilty?
I felt guilty at first, you know, because he died and I was just horrified at his funeral. But then after a while it just sort of subsided and I was fine.
Interesting. Tell me about your later years. Did you go to college? Did you have love interests?
I left Ohio to go to college. Sorry. And I was gone for 10 years and I came back and everything was pretty much the same except these robins just kept following me around like a plague. I don't know what was going on, but they were just everywhere.
Oh, interesting. I heard the town views that as a superstition.
Yeah, they got a little weird after a while, but I was just like, what the hell? I mean, these are birds, they're pretty. They just kept following me around. I didn't think anything of it. But love interest? No one in particular. I just sort of slept around, anyone I thought was cute. I slept with Nell's husband Jude once. That didn't really end well, but you know.
How did that affect your friendship with Nell?
She acted like it was a big deal, but I didn't really think nothing of it. She was a little upset. We didn't talk for a couple years, but I still thought we were best friends. And then after that, I found this nice man, Ajax. He was so good to me, but then he left me, and I was really upset.
I'm very sorry to hear that. Back to Nell. We actually have her backstage, so we're gonna bring her on out. Nell, come out here, please.
Hello, how are you?
Thank you for joining us today, Nell. So, we're just gonna talk a little bit about the two of you and your relationship, your friendship, going up and bottom.
Sounds good. What do you want to know, honey?
So Nell, tell us, how did you feel when you walked in on Sula and Jude doing the dirty, having intercourse, having sex on your floor?
It just made me furious. I was so mad at her.
Nell, you just are all worked up.
It was shocking.
No, now, Sula, do you not think that would be a bit of a betrayal?
Absolutely.
I mean, yes, but obviously Jude was unhappy if he had to look elsewhere for pleasures.
Well, now, Nell, she has a point.
Well, I never meant to hurt you, but you know, things just happen. It wasn't like I had a feeling for him. He was just something to fill a void.
So, Nell, do you think you could find it in you to forgive Sula for what she
absolutely not.
No,
never.
we have been friends forever.
No.
Forever.
Not after what you did to me.
Okay, I think,
You know what? This is ridiculous.
I think it is time for Sula to leave. We're gonna have one-on-one with Nell. Thank you, Sula.
Thank you, Oprah.
She was just a wild heart. Now, Nell, tell us about your friendship experience with Sula.
Well, we were good friends at first, but after a while, our friendship started to fade once we started getting older after the incident with Chicken Little.
So tell me about that incident. How did you feel about it? Sula said you were calm at the time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I felt a little bit guilty, but it wasn't that big of a deal. It's not like anyone saw it.
Interesting. So tell me more about the affair and how it affected your friendship.
You know, I was just really mad at her, and that was a big breaking point in our friendship because when someone does that to you, it's just such a betrayal and it just hurts you so much.
Of course. So tell me how you feel about Sula's unconventional lifestyle.
You know, that's just her nature, but I grew up differently, and I just think she should settle down and have kids just like every other normal person.
So you believe it's the woman's role to be submissive to their husband, and Sula just hasn't fulfilled that?
Absolutely. She just needs to find someone that she loves.
Of course. Well, maybe one day you and Sula can reconcile your differences and have a friendship again, but I think through the relationships we've looked at today, it's clear that love is not perfect and friendships are complicated, and true love and true friendship isn't pure and simple. It takes work and there's struggle. So thank you, listeners and audience, for listening to the intriguing characters of Bottom, Ohio, and everyone, make sure to look under your seats for a prize. It's gonna be exciting.